Yes, good morning and welcome to Policy Pulse, your weekly deep dive into the policies, decisions, and events that is shaping our society. I'm your host, Yemi Kosoko, and today we turn our attention to the University of Jos. Following the tragic attack in Angwarukuba and the subsequent adjustments to the university's academic schedule, you'll agree with me that the past 1 week or thereabout has been a bit challenging security-wise in the state capital, which of course informed the state government to impose initially a 48-hour curfew in Jos North, which of course has been relaxed that citizens can move between 6 and 3 p.m. Well, we are hoping that with the security apparatus that have been improved rather, probably there might be a review. But today, joining us live in the studio is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos, Professor Tanku Ishaya. Professor, thank you for being here. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much, Yemi, and thank you, listeners.
Yeah, thank you very much. The other time that you were in the news where everybody was hearing about University of Jos and Professor Ishaya Tanku was during the Nuga Games. You were everywhere trying to take a look at how University of Jos was preparing for Nuga Games that time. But this time around is something a bit different. For you listener out there, traditionally we ought to have a fourth segment, which is a newspaper review. But because of what we're having on hand, and for us to have ample time to discuss the issue of security in the University of Jos and some decisions that have been taken by the management, will not be taking that, and we'll have a whole hog of the program dedicated to the University of Jos and what is happening. Well, some students felt the tension on the campus, and with everything that happened, there was a statement that the university issued. Prof, let me just take a look at that statement as a foundation of how we'll go ahead with our discussion this morning.
That's right, that's okay.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, listener out there, you'll agree with me that the academic calendar in the University of Jos for now is a bit altered. And what are the reasons? It's not far-fetched from what we've been talking about in terms of the security breach that occurred just last Sunday. Last Sunday, shortly after the Palm Sunday service. Well, there is this release from the University of Jos, which of course will be the bone of what our discussion will be. And it's titled Continuation of First Semester Examinations. Please refer to the directive by the Vice Chancellor dated 31st March 2026 that examinations scheduled to hold on Wednesday 1st and Thursday 2nd April 2026 are postponed to a later date, and other examinations to continue after the Easter holidays. University management at its meeting on Friday 3rd April 2026 considered the effects of the heightened tensions and threat to the lives and safety of students during the week, which led to management allowing students to travel home for the elongated Easter holidays, and directed as follows. 1. All examinations are to continue from Monday 13th April 2026, beginning with the ones that were postponed from the 30th March 2026. For further clarification on this, students are advised to contact the faculty examinations timetable officer. 2. Students who are on campus are assured of their safety as security has been beefed up. They are advised to maintain vigilance, extra caution in their movements, and report immediately any sign or shadow of breach of the Public Peace to the University Security Division on this number 080-3589-5323. 3. Normal activities in the university community continues as from Tuesday 7th April 2026. 4. Management is assuring the university of its active collaboration with the relevant security agencies to ensure that no breach of the peace is tolerated. 5. Further relevant updates will be communicated as management directs. And in fragile times like this, may our confidence in the Lord be steadfast. Thank you. This is signed by the Deputy Registrar, Emmanuel Madugu, Deputy Registrar, Information and Public Relations, signed for the Registrar. Prof, that is the management decision for what has happened. Now, some students felt the tension on campus was palpable. How will you describe the atmosphere at the time, and what intelligence or security assessments guided this decision taken by the management, which I just read out?
Thank you very much, Yemi. Let me first of all use this platform on behalf of the entire University of Jos to commiserate on what the state and what had actually happened on the 29th of March. Unfortunately, we've lost some innocent lives. Our hearts go to the families, and we pray that the Almighty God will grant the lost lives eternity. Of course, the University of Jos is in close proximity with where everything actually happened.
Yeah.
And indeed, we have quite a number of our students, our staff, that are actually living around that particular area, Ongwan Rukuba. Indeed, on that very fateful Sunday, we even had some staff and students who actually suffered a lot of injuries. As we speak, we have a student, Gashon Ebel Jaro, a 300-level student building department, who was actually shot on his stomach, and have been on the intensive care unit, for a very long time. We also have another student who was also affected during that crisis, Patrick Ishaya, a 300-level geography and planning student. And of course, that same day, we had one of our staff who was actually shot on his thigh, Mr. Daniel, who is a staff of student affairs. And sadly, yesterday we were informed that we lost one of our students, Adeyemo Oluwafemi Temitope, a 500-level quantity surveillance student of the University of Jos, who was shot and obviously brutally killed on Wednesday, unfortunately, the 1st of April 2026, along Bochi Road. His corpse actually is currently at the Jute mortuary. We went actually to saw the corpse. Actually, on the same day, the 1st of April 2026, we also had one of our students, Lonji Wumnoko, a 300-level geology student who was also critically injured and is currently in the hospital at Ola Hospital receiving treatment. So you can see that really what happened affected quite a number of our students and staff. And of course, our deepest condolences to the parents, particularly the parents of Temitope and the family, and most importantly, the university community, for what happened on that fateful day. Of course, as university management, one of the things that I want to say is that the governor of Plateau State, Barrister Kala Manessa Mutwan, has really been very, very proactive and supportive, to the university since this incident actually happened. We have been in talks with him since that day on what the state could do and what the state has actually done in order to ensure that staff and students are provided the appropriate security. And of course, we have also been discussing with all the security agencies who have been up and doing. They have been supportive of the university. They have deployed quite a number of security agencies, security personnel on campus and around the campus, to ensure that the situation is calm. We have made assessments. We have also seen that the situation is relatively becoming calmer. With the assurances of the security agencies and what we can also see on ground, actually that was what informed the decision of management. Because one of the things that we need to also bear in mind is that the students there are quite a number of students, quite all right, who have traveled, but there are still quite a number of students on campus and outside of campus waiting, for this decision and hoping that, the academic activities obviously continue.
Okay.
So whatever decision we have to make, we have to balance, the situation in terms of those students who are around and also those students who have traveled. Before we evacuated, or before we allowed the students, even though the word evacuated was used, but before we allowed students to leave campus, I went round and told the students that coincidentally, because the exams that were scheduled for the 31st and the 1st couldn't take place, I indicated to them and approved that those students who want to travel can actually travel, because that gave us more or less an elongated Easter break. And we said they can travel and be ready to come back immediately after Easter. So I think it is on that premise that we actually had to take a decision with respect to the students that have traveled and the students that are actually on campus. We moved the exams slightly, or otherwise we elongated the Easter break so that we can also give those students who have traveled the ample opportunity to settle down a little bit after the Easter and then prepare to come back. But also not keeping those students that are on campus, much longer than necessary. So that's one of the reasons why we have made that decision, bearing in mind the assurances that we have received from the government agencies in terms of ensuring that they provide the university the required, security.
Actually, with this opening remarks and the explanation here, seems to be a communication gap and probably a little bit of a misinformation to the public out there, because what the insinuation out there is that the university has been closed down, students have been asked to vacate the campus. But with the explanation now, it seems with what happened on Sunday and the aftermath of the breaches here and there, students couldn't go for the exam on the 30th and on the 1st. So there has to be sort of to elongate the timetable. Well, having said that, you've provided an emergency line for reporting threats and things. Beyond that, are there additional channels or systems to help students quickly alert security if they sense any danger? Those that are on ground now, that are there, what are the things put on ground?
Thank you very much. I want to inform the public that we are privileged that we actually have a police outpost within the university premise at the Naraguta campus that is very, very close to the student hostel. In addition to that, we have security already deployed across the gates.
Okay.
We have security officers, both the police and the military, even in campus, ensuring, patrolling and ensuring that if anything comes up, at least they will be able to address it immediately. So we have many other channels of communication. We have the Directorate of Student Affairs, where students also know that whenever they've sensed or have seen something, how to quickly reach out, to
say something.
Say yes. When you see something, say something. That's one of the things that we have been asking our students to really take on board. We have the students executives, the SUG, and all their members. Students also have access to actually reaching the student SUG as soon as anything happens. And so there are quite a number of channels of communication. And these channels of communication, the students are well aware of. But like I said earlier on, and let me just emphasize, the university has not closed. It wasn't closed. I went round even before they started taking students. Even the state governments that have been calling us to tell us that they are sending buses to pick their students, we told them if they're coming to pick their students, they should have it at the back of their mind that they are coming to pick their students for the Easter holiday.
And will they bring them back?
Well, we told them to also make provision to help the students to bring them back. Let it not just be that they have taken them home and they are on their own when it comes to coming back. That's my plea to all the state governments and all the political officers and good well-wishers that have actually supported the students to also support the students in coming when they are coming back or when they are supposed to.
So in a nutshell, the situation has just allowed for an elongated Easter break, just to say the Easter break, then they will be coming back.
Yes, I think that one of the most important things that we need to really bear in mind and we must face is that as far as an academic program is concerned, 1 week in the lives of all the students that we have is very, very significant.
Jeez.
2 weeks is excellent, is more significant, and that is one of the reasons why the university can only take a decision to close the university where there are clear indications that that there are threats and there's no
Extreme cases.
Yeah, in extreme cases, and where there are no assurances of ensuring the students are actually safe on campus.
Okay, let's take a look at student welfare and their psychological support. You'll agree with me that many students travel home abruptly due to the fear around the situation. Has the university put in place any counseling or psychological support for those who may have been traumatized by the recent violence?
Yes, we have a support that students are actually aware of. We have the dean of students, Professor Chris Piona, who is even a psychiatric medical doctor, and we have quite a number of staff within that directorate. We've informed the students who are facing any psychological kind of issues to actually contact the relevant office. We also have the psychological unit. So there is appropriate, support within the university that students are also aware of.
Okay, yeah. There are other students that are not on campus. They live within the vicinity of the university. They come from outside. How is the university ensuring that, in code, these are vulnerable students, especially those on campus and those that are off campus? What are the measures on ground, and how will they feel safe enough to resume academic activities when they're coming back?
Yeah, we have done three things rather. Number one of the things that we have done is we try to build a cordial relationship within the university neighborhood. All the university communities, we have been going around and be discussing with them in terms of really supporting the students. And I'm glad to say that, for the past how many years, we have not really had any breach and any issues that affected our students from where they are actually staying. Yeah. And this is a credit actually to some of the leaders of those communities, because we have been going around to, to plead for them to make sure that our students are actually safe. And I recall that in one of the situations that we experienced some years ago, Ongwan Sukua to be precise, they came out and actually protected our students. And in fact, they told the student, no student of the University of Jos should travel, and that they are willing and able to actually support them. And even during this particular crisis, we were going around, as management, to also continue to converse for that kind of support within our students. And like I said, thankfully, we've not had any challenge with our students for those that are actually staying off campus. Nonetheless, we have also provided, the Directorate of Student Affairs has a directory of where our students, especially, we said wherever we have, up to 5 students that are staying off campus, we need to know where they are. And this is because when things like this happen, we need to immediately deploy whatever protocol or process that we can actually reach out, with the support, whether it's actually asking the security agencies to deploy their officers and men around those areas, and so on and so forth. So those are the few areas that we have.
To also take a comment from what you just said now, how far with the renovation of the hostels on the campus?
Yeah, the renovation of the hostel is ongoing. It's still ongoing. Some of the hostels, the renovations have been completed. And of course, renovation is a continuous thing, especially in a facility where students stay. It's not just a one-off. So every now and then, we have to go and identify what needs to be provided. So it's actually an ongoing activity.
Okay, now for the records, because there are lots of rumors there, you just mentioned a 300 level of geography and the other one. Now, the records you have, the casualties coming out from this security breach, how many are injured? Other staff, students, and how many deaths do we have?
Yeah, like I said, we unfortunately have a record of one death. Adeyemo.
That's a 500 level.
Temitope, a 500 level student of quantity and surveying. And at the moment, we have a record of 3 students that are currently receiving, attention in the hospitals.
Okay. And the staff.
And the staff.
Okay.
Is also receiving attention.
So it's better to give those statistics out, because the rumor out there is not something that is palatable, and of course it doesn't give parents any trust or anything there. You can imagine what has been going on the social media. They will tell you that 4 or 5 students of University of Jos have been killed, this and that. But as we have been able to get the
actually, I want to say that one of the videos that have been circulating on social media, unfortunately, someone that was killed, along close to the gate of the University of Jos. Information with us is that it's not our student, it's not our staff. So I think it's important to to make that clear.
Clarification. Okay.
Yes.
That's okay. Now let's go back to the academic calendar. Let's talk about the academics. Examinations are now set to resume on Monday, April 13th.
13th. Yes. 13th. That's right.
Starting with those postponed from March 30th. Should students expect any broader adjustments to the academic calendar?
Of course, it's just a shift. It's just a shift of the examination. So students who are supposed to write exams on the 30th of March know that by the time they come back on the before the 13th, that they are going to write exams on the 13th of April. Those that were supposed to write exams on the 31st of March will now write their exams on the 14th of April, and so on and so forth. So it's just a shift of the examination timetable.
So there's no review. So if you are expected to have written your paper on the 30th, so when you come back on the 13th, that's the paper you write.
That's right.
Okay. So there is also need to just take a look at that. Okay. So how's the university balancing fairness for students who may have been displaced or emotionally affected by this recent events?
As much as possible, we try to manage the emotional trauma because, of course, one of the things that we got right from the beginning was the support that we received from the government of the state. Barrister Caleb Manessa Mutfan has really provided support and is still continuing to provide support. And I think that that was one of the reasons why we actually opened up and allowed students to travel, because of course, because students were very afraid, which I understand, is understandably so, and for them, and especially for some of them, and particularly the parents who of course are not in JOS to be able to assess, the situation.
Yes.
They obviously wanted to see their children, their wards, come back so that they can see them. And that's what's one of the reasons why we've really opened up for students who want to travel, can actually travel. And of course, the students who are on ground, will continue to provide them support, we continue to provide them assurance. Those that continue to feel unsafe, there are channels of communication that individual and collective students can actually reach out to us to provide them some more assurance and to provide them with whatever support that we can.
Okay. For the parents that are listening to us out there, there's this concern, which of course, nobody prayed for what happened last Sunday, but if tensions, not talking about tensions in surrounding communities escalate again, does the university have contingency plans to protect students and staff?
We have had the assurance of the security agencies. We are working on the contingencies. In fact, one of the contingencies that we have actually indicated earlier on is that just very recently we have a police post on campus.
Okay.
And actually that is one of the things that I believe will continue to provide students with the feeling that at least there's security on campus. And of course, I believe that those officers and men are also, providing the necessary security, the necessary safety that students are actually expecting. But we are not stopping at that. We are now, especially based on what happened, we now need to continue further conversation with the various security agencies, towards ensuring that we have more physical, security on ground. And of course, one of the most important aspects is that we are also making play to the federal government, particularly with respect to what we think needs to be provided. Because one of the challenges that we have on campus, of course, is that part of the campus is actually porous. And one thing that we are making requests to the federal government and the state government is towards ensuring that we have a perimeter fence, and also the deployment of technology towards, the monitoring of whatever that is happening.
Surveillance
I am glad and happy that when Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, came to JOS, also came with the Minister of Information and Communication, whom he assured us that the CCTVs are going to be installed within and around JOS. And I believe that when those actually are installed, the University of JOS being one of the main the main federal agency, federal institution of government on the plateau, I believe that that's
and
probably
it's
going to
also
be
within the area of concern.
And it's also within the area of concern.
Okay.
And of course, bear in mind that Mr. President is the visitor to the university. So I want to believe that University of Jos should be given and will be given a priority when that comes up.
Actually, that will have been the next issue that we are to look at, because I was to ask what are the plans for infrastructure upgrades, such as surveillance systems, improved lighting, or community-based security partnership. You've talked about the issue of surveillance systems. Before we go to the issue of community-based security partnership, and like rightly mentioned, the president was around here, and of course, the Minister for Communications was around, Minister for Humanitarian Affairs. In addition to the surveillance system, with the Humanitarian Affairs Minister that was around, are there other things that the federal government should do for the university community in terms of the extension of items? Just yesterday, NEMA also gave some items to the state government. Shouldn't the university also the university community be included in all these relief materials, as well as the surveillance system that we're talking about, deliberately not to lump them together along the state?
I want to assure you that one of the things that we know we have, that those surveillance system will be implemented in the University of Jos.
Okay.
Because when we talk about artificial intelligence driven surveillance system, I want to say that just very recently, the minister, Dr. Basun Tijani, the Ministry of Information and Communications has actually awarded, to the university a center of artificial intelligence and analytics, and that is one of the, actually that's the first center of that nature to be created in this country, and perhaps in Western Africa, and that is going to be in the University of Jos. By implication, whatever that is going to be deployed on the plateau will be driven, from that particular center. So I want to believe that the center cannot just be deployed without ensuring that we have those surveillance, security surveillances. We need that to ensure and guarantee the safety and the safety of staff and students. But we also need that for us to continue to do research, to continue to improve the system of surveillance, and so on.
Okay.
So that's one. On the other hand, on the other part that you've just asked in terms of the relief materials, of course, I've been inundated with requests from students and staff. We've sent our kind of requests, and we are expecting the federal government to also remember us. I have reached out to the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. So we are currently following up to see what the federal government can also help support the university.
Okay. Now, we're talking about community-based security partnership. The Bauchi Road axis, the Angwan-Rukuba axis, Angwan-Rugo axis, Firingada axis, Rousseau community axis. All these, you talked about the partnership with leaders, youth leaders in some of those areas. How will the university enhance this community-based security partnership so that students' safety and staff, of course, will be guaranteed?
Yes, we started this some years ago, and we continue to harness that. In fact, we have partnership with with the youths, particularly the youths in Angwan-Rogo. We're going to, of course, begin to consider and extend to some of the communities as well. But we actually have a security, the campus security committee.
Okay.
That has brought in all members from all the surrounding communities. From time to time, we have meetings. We discuss strategies. We adopt strategies, and that is one of the reasons why I said we have at least recorded, some kind of improvement, from where we are, because what we used to hear before was that whenever anything happened, the students will be cautioned not to enter Angwan-Rogo, not to enter the communities around Student Village, not to enter Rousseau, but with that committees that we have set up, I think the narrative has been changing, because like I said, we've not had any issue, we've not had any incident within these communities as far as this particular issue is concerned.
Okay. Now, the still talking about the issue of communication, some students felt the initial communication came a bit late. What are the lessons the university has learned about crisis communication?
What sort of communication that came late?
In terms of the decision that was taken, and which, of course, initially we witnessed states coming in to say they want to pick their wards or students from their states. And at the end of the day, when this communication came for the adjustment, the question is, are there lessons learned about crisis communication for in case of another?
Of course, there are always lessons to be learned, but let me parents and even the conference and even the contingents that some of the governments actually sent. I personally told them that you are taking the students, but you need to make sure that on Monday, the 6th, you bring back the students because exams and academic activities is going to continue on the 7th. However, which is, like I said, when we consider the fact that, yes, students have traveled, we expect them to come back on the 6th. We now consider that I think it was even more or less fair to just extend the Easter break in order to allow them, settle down a little bit at home and then prepare to come back. And that is actually one of the reasons why we've decided to extend, the Easter break so that academic activities will continue from the 13th of April.
Now, before we go to the phones, will the university consider establishing a dedicated crisis response or digital alert system for faster updates?
We are considering all, because this is a lesson, to us, to the university. We are considering, like I said, we are considering, not just digital platforms. We are considering the various physical, logical, and digital, perspective in terms of how we manage this crisis when it comes again.
Okay.
We pray that the crisis doesn't come up again. Obviously, but we need to make sure that we plan.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, you can reach us on 090-5566-6699 or 081-2187-7777. When your call comes through, let us be civil in our conduct. You reduce the volume of your radio set so that we can enjoy the conversation, and you can also reach out to Professor Tanko Ishaya, the Vice Chancellor of University of Jos. We have a caller. Hello, good morning. Hello? We lost that call. Hello?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning. Who's on the line? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, sir. My name is Anaka. I'm calling from Angarukuba.
Okay, go ahead, Anaka.
Yeah, I want to commend the Vice Chancellor for his efforts to secure the lives and property of students around the student community. Yeah. But my concern is a bit different. I'm a student of University of Jos. I graduated from Political Science Department sometime last year, August last year. Right. And as we speak, our testimony has not been given to us for over 8 months now for the whole of the department. I'm from Akwa Ibom, and the only thing keeping me in Plateau State is this, and nothing has been done about it. Nothing is being said. Please, I'm pleading with the Vice Chancellor to use all his effort to ask questions. Why are these students not giving their testimonial, please? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Hello? Hello? Hello, good morning. Hello? Seems to have lost the call. Can we have another caller? Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my name is Mazi Okorafo. I'm calling from Owoble Education Center Village in Anglo-Jos, Plateau State.
Okay.
Good morning, GC. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, Mazi. Go ahead.
Yeah. Prof, the situation now is that it's a suggestion. There is need for you and your management staff, Senate, try as much as possible. Look for people that will come and build what we call hostel in this university. As much as build the hostel, maybe people going to a contract. When you get those hostels at a subsidized rate, you will help the university. Instead of students, because if you check very well, 60 to 65% or 70% of University of Jos students are just off campus, which does not mean it. Because it's need for you to sit down and reason it. And you try as much as possible, when they say the university should have what we call CCTV, a central security system, where you, as the UC, employ people that are experts, train them to be monitoring the security network within the 4 walls of university, within the road that goes to university and comes to university. It will help the university. And to try as much as possible, this issue of when students speak lecture, they will say they are competent, they say they have cancelled it, they have suspended it. No. Monitor what is happening in university day in, day out. You have this of studies, you have this of department, you monitor this so that, because you see some students when they say they have cancelled the lecture, they are coming back now. That's it, the calendar is not there. If you check very well, the calendar of university is still going back, which is not healthy. Try as much as possible They tell what the effectiveness and University was just one of the second generation universities which they could have shown. Good morning, Mazu Crawford.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please. Let's be brief because seems we have lots and lots of callers waiting on the line.
Yes, obviously I noticed that. My name is Chidera Gosfield.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm a student at the University of Jos.
Okay.
So my question this morning goes to the VC. He's actually asking him and the Senate members, they've made a decision that students will return to school on the 13th. Now, what are the parameters? What arrangement has been made so that those students who are outside, who are off-key, will be secured? Because even if the VC said, oh, they've liaised with other security operatives, community leaders, all of these things, we know it. It's just, we've seen that it doesn't really hold water. Most times you see students who are in places like Angola, Cuba, they can't even leave their houses. They can't even come outside. So how is the VC going to make sure that, okay, these students, they are coming outside? And then going to the issue of hostel. The VC said that they are making arrangements, that is always checking the hostel to see that, okay, the hostel is in good situation. I can actually tell you that if you come to the hostel, Abuja hostel to be precise, water is passing through some of the hostels. Like, for example, the hostel at the hostel, Abuja hostel,
Okay.
some of the toilets, you see water passing through the buildings. What is the arrangement? How are you renovating? Are you just only painting?
All right. Thank you. It will arrange that.
If we say renovation should be total overhaul.
Okay.
We shouldn't be seeing situations like things like this happening.
All right. Thank you.
And then people that are traveling, you say they should come back. It's not possible. It's not feasible.
Well, we've told you. Let's be brief when you call so that we can get straight to the point and there will be a response. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Who's on the line?
Is this the radio line?
Yes, go ahead, please. Hello. We have another caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Go ahead. Who is on the line?
Adewumi is calling you from Bocho.
Adewumi, go ahead, please.
Thank you. I greet the guests in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you for a wonderful analysis.
Good morning.
Honestly, my take is just to look for a regular patrol near very high-risk areas like this Bochi Road and other areas to help to put checkpoints in those areas to prevent Muslims from even taking advantage and attacking students and commuters. Honestly speaking, that is my own major challenge because people like us who come from another place, being a Christian, coming to a Muslim area and becoming a challenge is a major challenge. So I don't know what what this is still about what the president has said. Bringing 5,000 CCTV. How are you going to ensure that the university gets most of the lion's share? Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Let's pick this call, then we go to our social page media. Hello. Hello, good morning. Okay. Now, let's, because there might be other issues that are related to that
Yes,
on our
that's right.
Facebook page. Let me just read out so that you can respond to them generally. Good morning. That is Kun Ang. Good morning, Yemi, and the guests in the studio. Professor Tankusa, what precaution measures have you taken in order to allow students resume on the 13th of April? Do you think students who have traveled far will make it back on the 13th? On that 13th, please. I need vivid explanations on these questions. Thank you. Samuel Sati, good morning. Professor Tanko Ishaya, Vice Chancellor, University of Jos. Please, the security around the university environs is not totally enough. The road students use are still open to danger, especially the Bauchi Road axis and other roads. Please, we are not happy seeing our brothers being attacked for nothing. Please improve the security on the road axis students use to come to school. Nkat Marcelinus Hill PL says, Mr. VC, the resumption date is too sudden. Anytime there are issues of that nature around the Bauchi Road, students are always the victims. What is the situation? What is the institution doing to prevent students from any threats and danger going forward around the Bauchi Road? Jakawa Jank Jr. says, good morning. I'm glad to welcome our guests to the studio, especially my Vice Chancellor, Professor Tanko Ishaya. Slim J. Comedian, please, Vice Chancellor, sir, the University of Jos is not safe, so telling students to resume on the 13th of April for examination is not really right because of the insecurity in the state. The university have to get a strong and armed security settings. The campus is porous, for example, village hostel. There are no good fence. Students have to protect themselves on Wednesday when the unfortunate crisis happened. Godwin Sule, good morning, Mr. Yemiko Soko and our prof in the house. Please, sir, in this present now, we need security in our doorstep. Federal government should provide security for schools. We need more security outfit in school premises. Very, very important. That can save students not to be attacked even in school premises. And finally, before I go off, Samuel Sati says, I suggest that the school buses should be used to carry students from their various locations to the school with securities inside the buses. The buses should work from morning till evening. Again, we cannot depend on agreement with community leaders. It is dangerous. This is just that promises can fail anytime. Please, we cannot depend on that. I will suggest CBT exams for the remaining examinations that students can log in and write their exams in that. Well, we'll come back to some of those things again. I really like Babiaka. It is advisable for the school institution to calm pressure and trauma might be faced by students. That day is too close to resume. Well, these are some of the comments from our Facebook page, and it's been quite, they've been coming in. Well, this is another one. My question is this: if exams are to resume on the 13th, what security measures will be put in place, especially from the point where card drop off students to the school for those of us that travel? Also, what provisions are being made for students who sustain serious injuries during the crisis? Will alternative exam arrangements be made for them? Okay.
Right.
Let's just see how we can.
Yeah, I expected that there will be a lot of questions and a lot of comments, based on what's actually happened. But let me just take some of the points that were made one after another. I think the first speaker actually spoke about testimonials.
Yes.
About testimonials, I'm surprised that testimonials and the students have not actually received, or graduates have not received their testimonials. Because as far as we are concerned, Senate has approved results. There was even a convocation ceremony, so there's no reason why students' testimonials should not be ready by now. I think, nonetheless, I'll really get to find out from registry why the release of testimonials have been delayed. But as far as we are concerned, there's no reason why students should not be issued their testimonials. In fact, I thought they were talking about even certificates. They should be issued with certificates, not even testimonials. Yeah. Because when we had the graduation, we have all the certificates, prepared, for them to actually come and collect. The next one, of course, from Mazi is the issue of the calendar and also the issue of more hostels. Mazi, thank you very much. This is one thing that we have been actually following up and been pursuing because we know that the number of hostel accommodation that we have on campus is not anywhere near the international standard. At the moment, we have a hostel capacity of just about 5,000 students, and we have about 40,000 students. The international standard is that at least the university should be able to provide up to 40% of 40% accommodation for the entire population of the students. So we have been looking at various options. We have opportunities. We have been following those opportunities. But of course, you know that the building of hostels is not just something that you can do like that. I want to appreciate the federal government. Even within this year alone, we have received, intervention through TEDFund for the expansion and the building of more hostels at the students' medical hostels. We are also received some support from TEDFund as well, who is supporting the university for those who want to do PPP, to bring in some part. And TEDFund has already agreed to provide some part of the money in order to augment the public-private partnerships.
Okay.
So we are exploring all those options. We have also opened up to all individuals that are within or outside of JOS who want to actually enter into partnership with the university, to provide hostel accommodation. Because for us in the university, we believe that the more accommodation we have on campus, the better, the safety of the students. But of course, we continue to also, like I said, liaise with all the security agencies. We are not only talking to community leaders and having community engagement or community agreements towards protecting students. We have been discussing with security agencies, and we believe that the security agencies are going to provide what they told us they are going to provide. Obviously, I don't think it will be good for me to be able to
divulge all those information.
divulge all the security arrangements, security mechanisms that our security agencies have agreed to provide, to ensure that the academic activities continue smoothly. In fact, based on the advice of the security agencies, was that they were, it's just to continue as we are. But like I said, because in the consideration that students have already traveled, we needed to just extend and provide them a little bit of time to enable them to settle down and then come back to the university. But the advice we even got from security agencies was exams should continue on the 7th. And they've given us all the assurances, which of course we have no reason not to believe, with the assurances that we have, from the security agencies. So those are some of the few things that, in terms of God's will, when you talk about the issue of renovation, let me also use this opportunity to appeal to students. It's like there are a lot of students who, when they come to the university, when they come to the campus, the way they use these facilities is in a way that we cannot even maintain the facilities. I mean, if you go to the hostels, like the hostel is talking about, sometimes we go around. But one of the things that we see that students do, they also need to be part of the rehabilitation of where they live by ensuring that they use the facilities in a decent manner. But we see the way some students actually use the facilities. It's not appropriate. So let me appeal to students to be civil in using these facilities.
Okay.
And again, another thing is that in a facility, a room that is meant for 2 people, you'll find five students. You'll find a lot of students, and therefore, overutilizing the facilities that's made, for maybe 2 students, and then 5 or 6 students are using those facilities. So the pressure is not going to allow, the facility to operate the way it's meant to operate. So that's just one area that I just want to appeal. But of course, renovation is ongoing, and we continue to make sure that we make the renovation. Of course, like I said, we have mechanisms that the security agencies have given us assurance for coming back, and then of course for students to resume. And like I said earlier on, I have no reason not to believe with what they have planned to provide in order to ensure safety of the students. I think that, Samuel Sati indicated that roads that are open to danger, we are also exploring ways of ensuring that those roads, those areas that students travel to the university, are also provided the appropriate security, and also mechanisms that will actually give students a certain level of comfort and belief, that the university and the state is actually doing so much in order to provide, the necessary safety and security that they are, looking at. One of the students suggested CBT exams. Of course, it's the way forward. We are already exploring, various ways on making sure that students can even, at some point, write their exams from home. But of course, This needs planning. This needs deployment of the appropriate infrastructure, because if we are going to do that, we need to also make sure that we need to make sure of the integrity of the exams.
Yes, yes.
Wherever students are actually writing exams. So, but we are working on that. But by the time we are sure that we have appropriate mechanisms, appropriate systems and platforms that will guarantee the integrity and the safety of the exams, there's no reason why we will not allow students to write exams from home. But let me just make one other clarification in terms of all the support, the psychological support. Students who are feeling, that need any psychological support, we have the youth-friendly center, which is available to students, and students know where they are. Actually, the youth-friendly center is even situated within the student hostels.
Okay.
So they can always go there, and and then of course we have the psychological center, which is also made available. So all these are made available, but of course, considering the problem, the situation that we've faced recently, one of the first things in terms of the insecurity, our concern was to really make sure that we address the aspect of physical security, and that is one of the reasons why, if you go around on campus now, you see the military, the police actually going on campus, patrolling. They have stations within the gates. So these are all mechanisms that we have put in place in order to ensure that students feel comfortable to come back. But I think the last point I want to make is that we are also very, very conscious of the time that students waste. Because like I said earlier on, a waste of two weeks in a student life is actually very, very fundamental.
Okay.
So I think that what we need to do is to balance the situation. We know that there is fear. We know that there are all these things. But I think as far as the government is concerned, we should move on with the activities. But of course, providing the appropriate mechanisms, appropriate security in order to guarantee the safetiness of staff and students.
Well, Professor Tanko Shaya, thank you for joining us on Policy Pulse and for shedding light on these critical issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, to our listener out there, stay informed, stay safe, and join us next week for another edition of Policy Pulse. I'm Yemi Kosoko. Have a peaceful day.
This is 101.9. This DJ is on fire. 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 Fire!
Your girlfriend is attempting to reach you on your cellular device.